thank him. He did us a solid. It's totally cool. Don't worry about it. Thanks a lot. And that's just the way we are. So it was a fun night, but that was the kind of the beginning of the evening. That and Rob's lack of driving skills at night for some reason.
Oh yeah. I heard about that. That was
Did I not send you the video?
Yes, you did. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
You sent it to me, and I was kind of like, you said, "Did you not hear that?" I was like, "No," and I had to listen again. I was like, "Oh, right, okay."
Yeah. For some reason at night, Rob becomes directionally impaired. I have no idea why, but it's not because of any outside influence. It's just who he is. So
I get that on foot. So I'm always accused. Well, I've said this before. It's ringing a bell now, but I get accused, right? So I'm quite good in the car,
right.
And especially I've been lazy over the last few years because the car's got sat nav in it. But like generally, I can get to somewhere no problem. The minute I step out of that car, like even when I lived in Brighton, like in the centre of town. I still live near Brighton, but I lived in Brighton in the centre of town for 10 years. And it didn't matter where I parked. If I got out of the car, I was instantly lost. Do you know what I mean? Like I just have, when I'm on foot, it's like, what the hell's going on? I remember walking for, God, it was a good hour and a half to get to a meeting somewhere in a job. And the meeting was basically 5 minutes away from Victoria Station in London. And I turned up early, knowing I wouldn't know where I was going. I always turn up really early to stuff because I always get lost. I think I spent 90 minutes getting to this place. It turned out 5 minutes away from the station. I just followed the thing on my phone blindly, not checking which direction I was going in. So I was getting further and further away, going, this blue line doesn't seem to be going anywhere. And realised, of course, it was trying to loop me back to where I started.
Oh man!
But yeah, I'm terrible on foot.
See, I'm pretty good at knowing kind of roughly where I am, at least directionally. And the only time I got lost walking home was when I was pretty blitzed, and I was probably about, I'm gonna say maybe a 15-minute walk, maybe 15 minutes. And it took me an hour and a half because I got completely turned around as to where I was. Because when I left the bar with my buddy, he's like, he's like, Ray goes, yeah, let's go. He's like, you know what? I got to the washroom. I was like, okay. I said, okay. He goes, which exit is towards my house? He goes, that one over there. So I go out that one and look out, start walking one way. I said, this doesn't look familiar. So I turn around and start walking that way. This doesn't look familiar either. So I'm walking around and then I can't figure out for the life of me and finally get home like an hour and a half. And I was like, really about 10, 15 minutes away. And I just...
It's mad.
Because like just aimlessly wandering. I was drunk too, mind you, but I was just aimlessly wandering. It's like, man, this none of this looks familiar. And in the morning when I went out later on, like I was like, holy crap, man, I'm such an idiot. Like, how did I not figure that out?
Mate, I did that once. I used to. I lived in a flat share with a few people, and one of the guys who I'm still really good friends with, and was good friends with at the time. He moved house, and he said, "Oh, come over to my new place." It's like a 15-minute walk away. I was like, yeah, okay, no worries, I'll come over. And it was a Saturday afternoon, and basically my other flatmate was like big into his pot, and I ended up getting really, really blazed and playing Grand Theft Auto with him for ages, right?
Right.
And I'm sitting there playing Grand Theft Auto. I'm like, oh shit, right, I gotta go because I gotta go meet Adi. So stand up, go out the house, try and kind of like. At the time, I was like, yeah, I know where it is. Like, it wasn't one of those. It was a few years ago, so I don't even think I had maps on my phone or whatever. It was probably like 10 years ago. So it was kind of like, yeah, no, I know where I am. I've looked it up. It's all good. And I got out, and what threw me is I remember a motorbike coming down the street and then slowing down and pulling up next to a police car. And I was just like, oh, man. Like, when you just played Grand Theft Auto, and I was like, oh man, if I could totally shoot him off and then nick the cop car, like, just like, in my head, like, there's this imaginary, scenario going on that was just like completely hilarious that would have been a scene in Grand Theft Auto. And at some point during that scenario, I got completely lost, and 3 hours later, I turned up to my mate's house that was 15 minutes away, and I do not know what I did on that walk. Like, to this day, I cannot figure out how the hell I got so lost. It's just like absolutely ridiculous. But I'm terrible on foot anyway. I definitely shouldn't have attempted it when I was blazed, but there you go. Those are the days, right? So.
Gilbert Godfrey, awesome. So next up is
back to music.
Next up, we have a really cool band. This one band's called Bad Llama. The song's called Crooked Empire. Dig this. Bad Llama with Crooked Empire. And you know what? One thing I'm sure I didn't mention last time, but the beginning of that song really, really remind me of Soundgarden, but like old Soundgarden from like Louder Than Love album, like that Soundgarden. So that was pretty cool. I don't know how I didn't pick that up last time, but man, yeah, definitely heavily Soundgarden influence. At least, I mean, if they're not, I'd be very surprised just because, I mean, it's so, man, if you listen especially to the song Loud Love from Louder Than Love, you'll see what I mean exactly. But a great tune, man. It's a great band, like kind of, to quote you, proper rock and roll. So
proper rock and roll, isn't it?
But yeah, but I love it,
yeah,
man.
It is, man. It's proper cool. It's got like you said, there's a nice kind of heavy grungy vibe going on. It's just dirty and filthy and rock and roll. I love that. It's right on my street. I think they're a quality band.
All right. Well, next up, if I can get ready here.
Next up is something.
No. Albeit, I have this in front of me. Yeah.
there is a song coming at the moment.
I just don't know what it is. Let me reference the list. So
it'll be something musical, probably rocky.
Oh, here it is, a song. So here's a song.
This tonight gets pretty heavy, doesn't it? So we're moving into that heavy phase now, which is awesome.
Yeah. So next up, a very we'll call it again #creepy_as_fuck band, The Evil Dead. Unfortunately disbanded, but man, it's like the Monsters meet alternative rock and roll / metal. It's crazy stuff. So here is The Evil Dead with "Dead Behind the Eyes." Dig it. Right on, The Evil Dead with "Dead Behind the Eyes." Man, I so wish they were still together because that was a great album. They were a great band. And creepy, but just really, man, just crazy, like literally creepy rock and roll, I think is the best way to describe it. And it sounds like they've been infused with the Munsters, you know, like. But and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that's a good thing. I mean that's really cool. Like I've always loved it. Like,
yeah, I think they're brilliant. I think they're like a really heavy version of The Cure listening to Nirvana. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I thought we could see that.
Yeah, it's got that kind of thing going on. Where it's because what I love about The Cure